where's the rest of our body? It's like burning my pecs.
You're strong, young man.
Dum dum. Welcome back to Sikhistan, and welcome back to the Sikhistan news at 6, when it's probably not 6, but it's 6 somewhere at some point. So we're back with a new show on Monday. Last week it was Tuesday, but today's back to Monday, your regularly scheduled news show. We must have done at least 30 or more of these at this stage.
You've done a lot of news shows.
They're great. There was loads of tags this week. There was actually so many tags this week that I had to cut out a lot of the tags. Yeah. We had to pick the main ones.
Yeah. Yeah. So we obviously are hugely appreciative if you're watching this and you say, oh my God, I know a video that'd be great for the lads. Tag the lads. Yeah, tag the lads. People, loads of tags. So many tags recently. Tag us in anything. We'll look through it, as it's great to see. Now, starting off with our weightlifting segment, as we always start off with, we've Egor Klimanov, formerly known as the Reverse Turtle, is jerking 240. Right. So he considers this a make. Dara does not consider this a make. Yeah, because he doesn't make it. Alright. So great split jerks, 240. Yeah, he didn't make it. He didn't make it. Would he have made it though if he wasn't in front of the squat rack? That's the thing. But see, he comes into that like quarter squat, overhead squat position there. Mm-hmm. Yes. It's not. It certainly wouldn't be a making competition. Fuck no. That wouldn't be a making a CrossFit competition. How does someone move 240 so slowly but still so kind of fast, you know? That's incredible. That's fact that lifting in your kitchen. He got 240 to arm's length, you know? Yeah. It's really hard to knock someone for getting 240 to arm's length from your chest. No, it's an unbelievably impressive lift. And it was a make if he stayed in the split jerk. I think he might have made this if he didn't have the rack in front of him. Yeah, I think he would have, because I think he just would have stayed there for a second longer. Although you can't really pull 240 back in overhead, can you? I don't even know if that was too far out in front. I think he's just very low down. Like that quarter squat is a low quarter squat when he brings his feet together. Mm-hmm. That's like apty depth in his power jerk. That kind of. Well, that's a big statement now there, honestly. Now, on the show. Wait now. There it is. So he said, easily push 230, went straight to 240, bicep emoji. Let it be more for motivation. Soon I'll push 242, fire emoji. So far my legs are killed and not so bad. Nice. So maybe I think he can get 242. To be honest, 240 is that number on jerk. It's the one. So few humans in the world. Why 242? Is there significance in pounds, or is it just 242? I assume because Ilya did 242. What competition did Ilya do 242 in? It's 2014. That was 243, I think. No, was that 242? I think it was 242. I feel like I should know that. I feel like you should know it and not me. Misha Kaklayev said fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji, a fire emoji. So I think he'll get 242, and we'll stand by and wait. Now here's our unknown lifter, Frozen Soul, with a 185 snatch. I'm unsure if you've seen this one before, but what I will say, he's the only person who can get away with wearing a headband to snatch 185. Yes. Headbands for me are the unforgivable. Yeah. Oh, and it's one of two headbands in this week's news show. But I think they're unforgivable unless you're a Frozen Soul and nobody knows who you are. I think what's more unforgivable is Nike Romney 4s. You know, I think that's more unforgivable. You know, in my head, Frozen Soul is still in like glory days. It's 2008. Everything is all good. Russia aren't banned. Yeah. Like he's still living that life. Yeah, but Klokov wore headbands, and you love Klokov. Klokov is no longer lifting, or in this week's news show. But he was wearing headbands. Okay, right. Yeah. Klokov's one of the two people in the world who can get away with wearing a headband. I see double standards here. This training hall from Russia, we've seen it a lot. I just wonder. An aircraft hangar. Yeah, it doesn't look warm, you know. But you see the massive piping for their heating. Yeah, I hope that's. It looks like a robust heating system. I don't think if you can say the words gas and this country in the same thing. I feel like, I wonder if YouTube would just it'd be like saying COVID. Yes, maybe not. Given the current climate. Yes. But I assume that's what's powering current climate. There he is. Currently powering this cheaply. Some form of, is that a BDSM swing in the background or something? I believe that to be some sort of gymnastics training rig. We're all entitled to our piece. Who knows? Now we have Ahmed Sayed snatching 175 from the classic Egyptian blocks from Wish. 175. The size of him. Yeah, he is jacked. You know, I was just going to say he's a bull, but it's not out of place that he's wearing the Rock's Under Armour bull tank top. I love the aggression after the lift. Yeah, that trend. You don't see that too often. Anadrol aggression. Oh my god. 175?
I'm pretty sure all of Egypt are banned right now.
Did it have a countrywide ban?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was for doping kids, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2 14-year-old girls, I think.
Oh wait, that was Kaz. No, Kaz. Oh, a lot of them have done that actually. Now that I think of it. Geez, he's some horse though.
Jesus Christ, yeah. That very, very short torso seems to be like diagnostic of Egyptian weightlifting.
Yeah, it is
really
actually.
Long arms, short torso, and they make it work. That isn't what you would consider to be the ideal body shape for a weightlifter. Yet they make it work very, very well. He
looks like Miso Hassano's father, Ibrahim Hassana. Mm-hmm. He looks like him as a younger lifter.
Yeah.
Who also did like 180, 220, I think.
Yeah.
He also push pressed 200 kilos.
Yeah, that's insane.
It's crazy.
That was in the days where the press was still in competition, though, wasn't it?
I know he's not that old. Maybe he was. No, that wouldn't have been. No, I don't think so.
No.
Okay. Yeah. So he was. So there's.
I love the energy.
Yeah, the energy is what it's all about.
And the other heavyweight sitting behind him, just sitting in the chair, not really interested, just wrapping his knees.
Wait, maybe they don't have a countrywide ban, but someone got banned recently for Egypt, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Maddie Stanisławski with a beautiful 110 kilo power jerk. This is very apty power jerks.
Yeah.
As soon as we...
That was the first thing I thought when I saw this jerk.
Now that you mentioned apty earlier in the video,
yeah,
I'm going to say this is an apty jerk.
I feel like apty, the foot movement isn't the same as apties, but definitely the catch height. That really fast press under.
That same straight wrist position.
Yeah. It's very good power jerk.
The clean style is interesting with the kind of no foot movement. So Maddie usually squat jerks from what I've seen. So there's a video for her jerking from blocks here, and it's 123. So let's just see if she. So this is 115. So that's midway power jerk, kind of an apty jerk again.
Yeah.
I feel like the midway power jerk should be called apty jerks.
I also feel like they're a way more safe option rather than squat jerking. Like if you're not going to split jerk,
yeah,
I think you're better to apty jerk than you are to do anything else.
It's someone. So here's the two. Oh, going again. No, that was 120. It's going again. So it's very interesting to see a female lifter squat jerking.
Mm-hmm. The level of strength you have to have for a squat jerk is undoubtedly a lot higher than what you need to split jerk something.
Yes.
So obviously she has strength to burn.
Yeah, especially in the upper body, it's massive.
Yeah.
You also need very, very good mobility across essentially all of your body. So thoracic, lats, internal rotation, external rotation of shoulders, hips, ankles, literally everything needs to be very mobile. And not just like, I could squeeze into the bottom position with like an inside the rings grip. Like you need to be able to get there very comfortably.
That's the thing, like if you're doing like an FMS screen of somebody, of like an athlete as they're coming in, you'll get them to do a quite narrow grip overhead squat or any kind of movement screening. A fairly narrow grip overhead squat will tell you almost everything you need to know about someone's ability to move, their mobility, their flexibility, and that being the main kind of lift is massively taxing.
You know, a load of people, now that you brought up functional movement screening, FMS, a load of people hate it, but a load of people who hate it are either just people who are commenting on stuff just to say they hate it, or people who've never had to coach large groups of people. But have never had to do a screening of a lot of people. Like the functional move, he's come out with a new, I think he's come out with a second edition, the gentleman who originally came up with the functional movement screening. Like you have to have some form of template. It's not saying that you only look at the template and then you disregard all your intuition, observation as a coach. It gives you a template to look at, and it gives you something to score someone by, and it gives them something to look at, and it gives them something to work off of. Like obviously, you're not going to, if they've very clearly missed something, the functional movement screening, you're not just going to go, well, it's fine on the functional movement screening, so we're going to ignore this. You're not going to do that,
No,
it's so stupid. It's just another thing for people to be outraged at, and a lot of you might not know what we're talking about, but some of the stuff I see, it's you see, and you'll see it between coaches and stuff, and I think it's a bad argument. I think
it's also a great microcosm for that whole thing of one or two studies say something and then people like grip to it as hard as they possibly can.
Yeah,
because like a study came out on FMS and the use to predict injury, or FMS and the use of it to limit injury risk in athletes, and they're like, oh, it doesn't change injury risk, but it's just a tool. It's just something you use, as you said, with intuition or with that coaching style that you just use as a tool to get an idea for where athletes are at, I always used my own version of like the FMS
with everybody, from going from like CrossFit classes through to coaching large teams of athletes, you have to do some sort of movement screening.
Like you could make an educated assessment and rebuttal of particularities of the FMS, and you can say that, okay, look, this part there doesn't make as much sense, and we'll do something different here. That's perfectly acceptable, and that's why I think he's pretty sure he's introduced a revised edition. That makes perfect sense. But just to say that any screening is just a bad idea and just completely throw it out without providing any good reasons why you think it's a bad idea or which parts it's a bad idea, I think it's just wanton disregard for any intelligent conversation.
I'm going to say one thing before we move on.
Go on.
And this is nothing to do with FMS, but this is to do with squat jerky and female athletes.
You go on.
So there's always this dichotomy or this paradox with squat jerks, right? Where you need massive amounts of mobility, high level of skill, but then you also need a massive amount of strength, like more strength than you would classically need to split jerk something. And so I think because of the mobility, a lot of female athletes and a lot of younger athletes as they're coming up, because they can do the mobility part, will think, oh, the squat jerk is the one for me. But then they're not successful at it because they don't have that kind of bullshit strength to lock out the bar overhead and to kind of brace it overhead. It's always been something that's sat in the back of my head.
That's exactly what happened to me when I was power jerking. Funny. As a younger athlete, more mobile, wasn't strong enough. Moving on. We've got a save from Sharo Fidin Amridinov from Uzbekistan. So it's actually not a save, it's a tantalizing miss. So 176 at Bogota at the Worlds this year, or last year, sorry, 2022 Worlds. It's madness. How does he miss this?
I'm not gonna lie, this hurts my soul when I see he didn't make it in the end.
I feel so much for lifters when they miss it like that, you know, when they've stood up with it and then just the link. But the thing is, that never happens in some training, but it's from a lot of it comes from the adrenaline when you're on stage and you're pushing the limit. A lot of times, like those wonky misses, it just comes from just the heightened sense of adrenaline. I think a lot of that.
Yeah, I think because you're stuck in the bottom position like he is here, that stand up suddenly becomes like the big, you really need to stand up, put a lot of power in, and then those hips just go slightly too high, or those shoulders go slightly too forward. This is heartbreaking.
He's a young athlete, so I'm sure he will be back.
Yeah.
Right, next up we have Iron Biby, who is in Burkina Faso, I believe, training under the street lights, and he is not incline, so he's called it a seated press with 273 kilos. As the last time I've heard Iron Biby talk about his weight, I think he was 205 kilo body weight approximately. Yeah, he's about 25 years old, I believe. So he's calling it a seated press. It's kind of an incline press. I just wanted to get out of the way before anyone said anything, but it is 273 kilo seated press.
You know, this is massively impressive, right? But
did you mean that?
Impressive. It's just pun after pun today.
Pun after pun.
But what's far more impressive than anything else here is the guy who's giving the lift off on this. He's like bicep curling 200 kilos up here at his chin height.
What's he going to do though?
I'm not quite sure. Why don't they have some sort of scaffolding set up so he could lift off?
273 kilo press. The plates and the bar. So Iron Biby is a strongman and an incredibly strong individual. In case you didn't gather that from watching this video, so it's 273 kilos. Let's just watch it again. It looks to be it is an axle bar. I was going to say it looks very fat, but it is an axle bar, which doesn't really. It makes it a little bit harder finishing with the wider grip, but he seems to be using a false grip. So it looks like there's a lot more there.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is I just hate when spotters have their hands near. I know it feels like you're not helping.
But Garvey's trying to curl 273 kilos.
But just curl from a little bit further away.
I know, but like
have more spotters.
If you have to run in, imagine a reactionary situation there where you have to spot.
Have more.
But pops his shoulder.
There's nothing he can do anyway. What's he going to do?
But he might just hold it for long enough so the other two lads run in.
Have the two lads in there and have no one touching the barbell. You can have your hands close. It makes perfect sense. 100%. I'm not arguing that, but just don't touch the barbell.
I know.
By the transit properties of mass, he's helping a little bit, you know.
Maybe he's hurting a little bit.
Yeah, maybe he's pushing it away. No, it's just. I wish he just wouldn't touch the bar. Keep it. You can keep it super close, but don't touch the barbell.
Yeah, he's in contact there.
Yeah, I don't like it. I really don't like it, and that's just.
One thing I'm going to say is every time I see strongmen lift, there's just nothing you can get away from with the mass. You know? Like, you have to be fucking massive to be a strongman.
You do. Yeah, you do.
Like, there's no... If you're trying to strict press 273 kilos while seated, you just have to be a horse.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no like, oh, well, he's a strongman, but he's really athletic. And I know there are cases of that.
Yeah.
But that it's not... It's not it. Like, you just have to be huge.
Martin Lisi is very athletic.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not athletic.
Big Z's
but
very
they
athletic.
have to be huge.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. So that's kind of why Eddie Hall didn't compete again after, is because he was basically going to die.
Yeah.
Which was...
Did you see in that documentary?
Yes.
When he said he wants to go back and compete, and his wife was just like sitting next to him crying.
Like, you know. But the doctor was like, you shouldn't even be doing this one. Okay, moving on to the most tagged, most sent to me, most
Definitely
sent to Dara,
the most
sent to Seek Strength. There is Joe Strong, power cleaning 182.5 kilos from blocks for a triple with a headband. The second headband in today's new show.
There's so much going on here. There is so much going on. So my thing initially when I saw this and I saw him setting up, I'm like, oh, those knees are kind of close together. That starting stance is a bit weird. Like, he's going to squeeze his knees together. The startings of valgus knee rotation, not that I'm saying that's what it is, but it's just a strange start position.
But at the same time, obviously, everyone watching this understands that it's massively impressive. That should have been the first thing you started with there. That
insanely impressive. I thought that went without saying.
That was 1B. That I meant to say 1A was this is massively impressive.
1.1.
Yes.
This is massively impressive. Unbelievable.
Yes.
On the world standard for high block power cleans, for triples. 1.11 was that. That start position was just slightly out of normal.
It's 182.5 for 3 high block power cleans. No rack position, all straps. Just phenomenal. That's exactly what you want from your thrower.
Is that Michigan State University?
Massachusetts, Rhode Island, no?
Massachusetts, North Carolina. There's somebody in the comments as well whose name is Amadral.
Now this is where I don't like.
Go on.
Do it without wraps. He's not wearing... First of all, he's not wearing wraps. He's wearing knee sleeves, a headband.
Yeah.
He's wearing straps, and he's got tape in his hand, but he's not wearing wraps anywhere.
Oh my god.
You stupid.
No.
The reason everyone is passing the vibe check, I'm almost... Oh no, never mind. This is the worst form I've ever seen. Begging to destroy your knees, catching like that, screaming is totally necessary too, bro. If you can power clean 180
and he has
for
the
3...
cool name as well. His name is Amadral.
Oh, that's disappointing.
That
is very disappointing.
Amadral, you had such a cool name and you messed it up with a stupid comment.
What's the wire thing for it? So that is a linear force transducer, so an accelerometer, just for the velocity of the barbell essentially.
The only problem with this is that won't measure the velocity of the barbell because it's at an angle. But I think what you'll see here is like, so in cases like that where you mightn't get a bang on measurement of speed or measurement of velocity or whatever it is, because that's at an angle, if you imagine that's a string, as the barbell goes straight up, it's not like the string is traveling the same distance because it's at an angle. You could definitely calculate it and calibrate that for use of that, but you would rarely do that in like a sports science setting. The thing you could see here though is that if that stays at the same angle each time, which is not because the barbell is rolling around on blocks, you could see if the barbell is slowing down massively between rep 1, rep 2 and rep 3, and that could be a valuable training tool. It's more likely in this case though that this is just a full-on max out session and the speed of the barbell doesn't really matter.
No, not to do more place more dates on this, but I want to read a few more comments because you can tell this video went pretty viral, because you can tell the more viral something goes, the dumber the comments get. So there's quite the F down, maybe try a little cardio.
Oh my god, what
like,
a
this
loser.
is crazy, because like this is his S&C training for sport. He's a thrower.
Yeah, this is absolute lunacy.
It's like saying to fucking Elliot Kipchoge, like, try a little more sprinting or something.
Or going, like, watching a soccer match and be like, why don't you use your hands?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
This is some dumb level.
Yeah.
The award for almost a hang clean goes to...
What?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Lads, if you're ever this confident about something and you're so far wrong, you should just...
Don't ever watch our videos.
You should be super competent.
Yeah.
Okay, someone did say, the fuck are you talking about? That's a power clean from Brock's.
Oh my god. Horrible. People are losers.
Whoever let the kid clean like that needs to get fired.
What?
Are you kidding me with these noises? Jesus.
Also, the kid, have you seen him?
He's a full...
He's a man mountain.
Oh no, most of these comments are negative.
Oh my
so you get
God.
credit for quarter reps. What do you mean? They're full reps.
What are you talking about?
Take the straps off. Hook grip is all you need. So this person obviously knows about lifting, knows enough that he knows a hook grip, and he's still commenting stupid shit like this.
His name is...
This person has kids.
PhaseLineCrossFit.com.
Has kids.
And
he's out there.
Has fathered children.
He is raising people. Why would he not use straps? Why would he not
He's
use
a
straps?
Thrower.
What the fuck would he not use
He's an
straps?
actual thrower. Oh my God.
Weight is impressive, but without wrist wraps, his wrist would be fried. Need to let that rest in front delts, not hold it up.
The only good comment in that whole comment section is Little Dwa saying M&M factory workers are getting crazy.
I really don't see how this has any strength increase. Or you don't know how power clean 182.5 kilos for 3 reps could have any impact on your strength. You don't know. You don't know. Fucking hell. There's all that noise and achieved fuck all. Oh my God.
I just pat my rib.
This fella has kids as well.
I just pat my rib. Oh.
Stand on, stand by. Are you okay? Was it all the bad comments that you were riled up?
If I like crouch over for too long, okay, we're good.
There's a muzzle spasm.
Oh, it just stabs my lungs. You're literally breaking my heart.
Now, moving on. Someone tagged us in this last week. So remember we had the guy essentially being some kind of lemur, spider monkey. This is massively impressive as well. This kind of just endurance, athleticism.
You know what I love about this is the fact that he just has this. I'm not sure if this is the back garden of his house, but I like to think this is just the back garden of his house, and he just has this all. It looks homemade.
Down by the lake.
Yeah.
Down by the pond.
Yeah.
How many pump action shotguns do you think he has?
All of them.
I hope he has at least 2 AR-15s as well.
He's in great shape.
Very good. I love that he's wearing combat shorts.
Yeah. And a belt.
The John Brown. And he landed in his little specific thing. I wonder if he's training for like Ninja Warrior. Maybe that annoys him. Maybe that's really annoying. Maybe it's like when someone goes, oh, you powerlifter? No, weightlifting.
What's
oh, like
your bench?
powerlifting. Yeah,
what's your bench?
Yeah, maybe this is really... Maybe that was a really patronising comment because this is massively impressive.
I bet he'd be class at Ninja Warrior.
You have to imagine he's seen Ninja Warrior.
Yeah. The only thing more impressive than the actual athleticism here is how good his beard is.
It's a frightfully good beard.
That is an immaculate beard.
It's almost concerning.
The dismount, great. The athleticism, great. But the beard is god level.
The flex in a lot of the timber or the wood is a little bit concerning. All of you see that happens a lot. This is on the complete tangent here. But the Americans ever prep their timber before we go outside? Because it always goes this color. It always gets kind of rotted out from a lot of the heat and then a lot of the wetness. Like it just
the wetness,
the moisture.
Yeah,
the wetness. That's a
moist.
Wetness is a technical term.
It
prep
just,
the timber.
Also, that's like a 6x2, and there's like 2 inches of it at the end where it was obviously a bit too short.
Prep the timber.
Come on, lads.
Varnish.
A bit of varnish.
Yeah, it wouldn't go astray.
That's crazy impressive though.
Now, next up we have got Jade Jacob, and she is deadlifting 205 kilos at 57 kilo body weight conventional. So she pulled sumo in competition, but this 2.5, apologies. So this incredibly patient. Reminds me of Steffi Cohen's deadlifts, where it's just super patient off the floor, maintains great positions. It's
a very, very good deadlift. The other really impressive thing here is she has a 185 that she failed back in September.
Crazy.
So in like 5 months, she has blown it out of the water.
Technically like 3 and a bit months, because that was the end of September.
Sorry, yeah.
So massively huge progress. 202.5.
This is, if you're watching this and you're a conventional deadlifter, that patience in the first pull and keeping your knees forward.
Oh yeah.
Is just so good.
That knees forward position, just keep it there for almost as long as possible, not turning into a hitch, but extending your knees as you get above the knee position into the kind of second pull or finish of the deadlift. But the patience off the floor, most lifters, specifically male lifters, will end up with that hip swing and knee shifting back too early. It's a very hard thing to fix, but it makes a huge difference to your deadlift.
I think the big thing is most of us want to be super aggressive off the floor, and you want to really start driving hard as you start pulling on the bar, and that is where like most of us will fall out of position, is we'll try and be really aggressive, really try and drive hard in the first pull, and then you just end up compromising your positions for the rest of the lift. Like that's a great example of staying in great positions. So
next up we have Darwin Thompson, front squatting 215 kilos. They called it a pause-ish. In Metcons, 2.5 times body weight. Whatever, regardless if that is not a pause, if you don't count that as a pause, as a front squat, that's incredible. I wouldn't have thought this was a pause, to be honest, but
It doesn't even matter.
No, it's so impressive. It's perfect, technically perfect in terms of like position, zero back change, driving forward his knees out of the bottom, quads are used as much as possible.
Whoever his S&C coach is, like, polite golf clap.
Fuck,
that's phenomenal.
Polite golf clap. Yeah, that is incredible.
It's just such a nice squat. Everything is really good. Front rack position is really good. Like, also in Metcons, not in weightlifting shoes. And everybody knows what field sports athletes are like. Most of their ankles are really tight. Most of them, their hips are really tight. Most of them, they're super short hip flexors. No front rack position. This is unbelievable.
Oh, it's incredible. And so that's probably the most impressive front squat I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
If anyone knows if he's any good at actually playing American football, I'd be very interested. Now, that's actually one of the most impressive front squats I've seen. Well.
Yeah.
Here is gun jiu-jitsu. So this is, I assume this is one of those kind of sheepdog defense training things where they're like preparing you for real world tactical scenarios. That was satire. But this does look like a lot of fun. It does look like a great way to break your finger, but it does look like so much fun. This would be so much fun in jiu-jitsu. Looking
at this particular one,
yeah,
there's a few things immediately that I think should have changed.
What should have been changed?
The second, so as the guy rolls over and your man kind of has his back, but he has a gun in his hand, why you wouldn't just fire off a shot? But obviously this isn't a real gun.
He couldn't fire off
See here,
yeah.
If you just fire off a shot for a little bit of like the
he got him
shock tactic, I know he gets him.
I think the gun should have started on the ground as well.
Not being thrown.
I don't think the bounce could go either way. Maybe you could add that as variable, but that's not incredibly consistent.
So the other thing that came up a lot this week that you were tagging us in is car jitsu. Jiu-jitsu matches starting passenger seat and driver seat of the car. Very, very entertaining to watch. I'm not going to lie.
You know, when they say stuff like great drill for real life scenarios, I just don't know if that's really a scenario that you're going to end up in a lot.
I also just don't know whose life you're living.
Yeah, where
are you going to be in an MMA ring and a handgun gets thrown out in the middle and you have to fight for your life? That's not my life.
But it looks like a lot of fun all the same.
No, it does. It looks like great crack.
You send us to later. Thanks for watching, guys. Again, as always, tag us and stuff because we really like seeing all the things, so that is massively helpful for the new show.
And if you're somebody who comments negative comments on people's lifting, please stop.
For shame.
Please stop.
For shame.